All right, we just got this GLC 63 in for the first time. It's here for a 40K service. So that's brake fluid, engine oil, and filter, and all the dust filters for the inside. So just looking over everything in the engine bay. First of all, see the coolant's a little low. So of course we top that off on every service and check it. And the secondary coolant for the turbo and transmission is good. But I was looking over everything else and don't really see anything from up top. No leaks, nothing's out of place. I did notice down here in the front that there's a bit of oil residue. Okay, I got this intake tube out of the way so that you can hopefully see what I'm focusing on here. You can see that oil residue there, like on that bolt and on this little black plastic piece that bolts onto the front of the cylinder head. You can see a good bit there and a good bit. I'm definitely not going to be able to get a focus on that, but anyways, these are the oil air separators that separates, the oil from the air inside the engine breather system. And they have little seals on them that seal into the front of the cylinder head, and those seals can weep oil like that. So it looks like it's just starting to leak, but of course I could really see from down below, like if it's dripping off the bottom of the engine or something like that, then it would definitely be worth addressing. This one, on this side, I don't really see anything, but it's more covered with brackets and things. But like I said, I'll be able to check that out more in depth from below, especially once we get the undershields off. You can kind of see here what I'm talking about, that little orange seal that you can see a little sliver of. That orange piece between the plastic piece and the metal piece, that's the seal. And those will seep oil out sometimes. As far as everything else, don't see anything. No leaks, nothing out of place or nothing like that up here. So we'll lift it up and see what everything looks like underneath it. Okay, we just got lifted up, got the undershields taken off. Did you see anything with the tires?
I didn't see anything.
They were all even?
Yeah.
Like the pressures? Okay, one thing on this right front wheel though, is it's got a pretty deep crack on the inside of the wheel. It's not leaking. We checked it and it's the exact same air pressure on the front right and front left. We also sprayed soapy water on it and there's no air coming out. But it is definitely cracking out. That is pretty deep. I'm pretty surprised it's not leaking air either. But that would be worth addressing for sure, especially since right now it's savable. So I'll get a quote to sublet this repair out. Okay, just check out the suspension. The brakes look new. All the bushings and ball joints, those all look good. And the front axles look good. Yeah, no issues with the suspension at all. And yeah, these brake pads are very thick, look brand new. Tires are probably 40%, I would say. 50%. And yeah, all these brakes look brand new. Check out this side. All these look good, that looks good. This strut and this axle also looks good. Yeah, I don't see anything with the suspension at all. Okay, this bolt is doubles as the undershield bolt. The middle undershield's metal. So you have those two thicker bolts. They go in there. So that's not missing. And yeah, to get a good sight on that oil leak from the bottom, you don't really see anything from down here. It's not enough to be dripping off at least, or at least visible from here. This panel isn't wet and you don't have any fluid coming out of any of these little water holes. So I don't see anything from this angle, but just to know that those breathers are starting to leak. That bearing looks good. You've got some oil down here, but it's always hard to tell whenever these lower oil pans are leaking because a lot of people don't clean up after themselves after doing an oil change. And this is your engine oil drain plug, and this is the filter and the filter drain plug. So inevitably you get oil everywhere. And it's nice to wash it all off with like an alcohol-based cleaner, like brake cleaner. so that you don't have this, so that you can't mistake it for a leak. But it's hard to tell because like how would oil get all the way onto this bolt, for example? So it's hard to know if this is leaking or not. But of course, after I service it, I'm going to clean all this off so it's completely dry. Then if I get the vehicle the next time, like the next year for the next oil change, and it's looking like this again, then it'll be safe to say that this gasket for this lower oil pan is leaking. Let's see, the front differential looks good. They're common to leak. You can sort of see some oil residue coming out. It looks darker around there and around some of that heat shielding up top there. But that's not to be concerned about at all. I would definitely wait for next year to see how that looks in a year's time. It's not even enough to form like, you know, like liquid oil is not even coming out. It's just barely like sweating, I would say. That's a common failure point, but it looks good for now. Moving back to the transmission. This all is looking good. Yeah, I don't see anything from the side of the transmission or from the back of the engine. Yeah, this looks good all the way back. The transfer case looks good. Yeah, I don't see any issues with the front of it. Look at the back here. This rubber disc, it looks good too. No issues in there, no tearing or anything. Axles, boots, all that looks good. Take this rear suspension. These brakes were replaced too because someone painted the rear caliper. You see all this silver stuff? It's like an anti-seize compound. Someone put a ton of it on there. They replaced the bolts, which I like to see. Those are one-time use bolts, and a lot of times they don't get replaced. That might be a bit of a shock leak starting to form. It's not raining out today. It's not like there's water on the road, but there's clearly fluid leaking out of the shock absorber. It looks like it's just barely starting to sweat, but no, I would say that pretty much has to be oil. The way it's even staining the boot there on the bottom. Yeah, I would say that's just starting to leak. And usually if you can see liquid oil leaking out of the shock absorber, then the gas charge has long been leaked out. So I'll probably quote out rear shock absorbers just to see what they would be and to get fresh ones in. And of course, with it being a suspension component, you always replace those in pairs because it's a wearable item, like they wear out together. So if you were to just replace this one with a brand new shock and this one with a 5-year-old shock, then it would be riding differently. All the bushings look okay. I don't see any tears in any of the rubber bushings at all. Yeah, this brake looks good on this side. I'm gonna look over these. I got distracted with the leaking shock. Yeah, I don't see anything. Usually the rear suspension on these is very stout. Okay. Thought these would have a retainer for these little wires here. But I guess not. They just sit there up against the air spring. This is the spring, it's air suspension. So, yeah, everything else looks good back here. Brakes look good. Yeah, tires are very healthy. Yeah, the outside brake pad looks good too. These brakes look pretty new as well. Yeah, so really the only thing that I see that would be worth addressing now would be these rear shock absorbers. Just because it's hard to tell how worn they are, but usually if you can see oil leaking out, and then like I said, the gas charge that makes the shock absorbers work has long been leaked out. But apart from that, just things to monitor would be this front differential, but years down the line, at least one more year. This potential leak of the oil pan, and then those tiny bits of like oil seepage coming out of those oil separators on top. But everything else, the rest of the whole car looks good.